My name is Murugapan Muthukumar. In my laboratory, we use diverse set of experimental techniques, molecular modeling, and theory. There is a very good reason why Mother Nature chose polymers to express life. Our primary goal of research is to understand how these molecules are able to assemble into structures like organelles, viruses, etc., as well as modern materials. Furthermore, we are interested in understanding how these molecules and their assemblies move from one place to another place towards an understanding of how one part of the human body is able to communicate with another part of the human body. In addition to such fundamental explorations, we are also keen in terms of transferring our knowledge into finding cures for diseases as well as formulating modern green biomimetic polymer materials.
One core area of research in our group is vision physics. We're quite fascinated to discover the mechanism and physics behind diseases such as cataracts and posterior vitreous detachment from the retina, which are both caused by aggregation of certain functional proteins in our eyes. This has led to actually pretty important clinical developments in novel, non-surgical therapeutics for these diseases and may help us develop new biomimetic materials. We have our own laser light scattering setup, which we can use to determine the size, shape, and diffusive behavior of certain proteins and other charged macromolecules, as well as their interactions with their surrounding solvent molecules.
Polymer translocation means a single polymer chain moves from a region of space to another through a small nanometer scale pore. This is a common phenomenon in biological systems. Like mRNA chains move from nucleus to cytoplasm through nucleus pore complex, and various proteins are transported across biological membranes through channels. In our lab, we aim to understand the physics of this ubiquitous phenomenon by measuring the translocation of single molecules of DNAs, RNAs, proteins, and synthetic polymers through a protein nanopore or a solid-state nanopore.
In the Muthu Kumar group, we are a mix of computational and experimental researchers. For the computational work that we do, we study the underlying physics that govern the phase behavior and dynamics of complex polymers such as proteins, DNA, and RNA. And our hope is that studying the underlying physics of these systems, we can develop low-cost and effective therapeutics to treat diseases that result from aberrant protein aggregation like Parkinson's disease. For the experimental work done in this lab, and the experimentalists do some wonderful work, they first challenge us to understand our systems even further by giving us problems to then study using computational methods. They also allow us to validate our predictions. So to complement the experimental work done, what we do is we use computational tools such as simulations of protein aggregation or DNA translocation, as well as developing some general theory for complex polymer systems to really pin down the underlying physics of these systems. The other cool thing about the work that we do in this lab is that we perform all of our simulations or computational studies on our own in-house GPU cluster, which allows us to do our work quickly and efficiently. We are all interested in the fundamental physics that underlie polymer science. So we like to use the Blackboard or other collaborative learning environments to teach one another important concepts, as well as to discuss our current projects. The ideas that come out of these discussions are always helpful for one another and help to push each one of us forward as researchers and students.
My primary goal of providing education to my students and postdocs is to build a very strong foundation of fundamentals so that they can create their own independent, successful career in the future. I do know when somebody joins my laboratory that the person is making a huge investment of their lifetime towards deep learning and to build an effective career that is going to be successful, satisfactory, and rewarding. Commensurate with their investment, it is my responsibility to provide the successful environment for them in terms of mentoring and providing resources so that they can reach their dreams of accomplishments. This is a responsibility that I take very seriously with the greatest passion and care.